Most Stellar XLM holders are sitting on more wealth potential than they realize, and the math I'm about to show you will prove exactly why. If you've been stacking XLM and you're not sure your bags are big enough, maybe you've been struggling for time in this game and you want to make money better with crypto, well, this video is specifically for you. After watching this video, you'll know exactly how many XLM you need to hit 3 different life-changing wealth targets. And I'm going to give you the community milestone, the number the Stellar community should be building towards right now in July 2026. 6 chains, 1 framework, the only strategy. I'm Nathan, aka Nathan of Zion, your award-winning Stellar XLM crypto developer, Zioncoin's founder. I build on this network, so when I run this math, it comes from the inside. Pure fundamental action, not hyped X or Telegram price prediction posts. But here's the thing, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is for educational purposes only. You should always do your own research and never spend more than what you can afford to lose. Now, if you're already subscribed to my channel, you know I don't do hype for hype's sake, right? I build on the Stellar network, Liquidplex DEX, Zigfree. I've done so for years, and I run the Zi 10x scanner protocol, my framework for filtering out BS, rug pulls, and focusing on real infrastructure with real RWA potential. Like XRP and XLM, they've been on my radar for years, not because of price speculation, because of what I see being built on this network from the inside. And today we're doing the math properly, so let's go. Let me start with the original story, because most people watching this don't actually know it. Stellar XLM, Stellar Lumens, was created by Jed McCaleb, the same man who co-founded Ripple. Think about that for a second. He built XRP, one of the top assets in the entire market. Then he walked away and built something else, something he believed in more. A network specifically designed for fast, low-cost cross-border payments and financial inclusion. That's not a vanity project. That's conviction. Here's the thing. XLM went from 0.002 cents, 0.002 cents, fractions of a penny, all the way up to 90 cents in 2018, all the way up. Yes, it came back down with the rest of the market. It stayed compressed as builders built while other assets pumped, right? You're probably thinking right now, Nathan, if XLM is so great, why hasn't it already run? I hear what you're saying. I hear you. Stellar doesn't market itself the same way as XRP does. It doesn't have an army of influences surrounding it or talking about it on X or Telegram. It builds quietly, institutionally. While retail investors were watching the price charts, Franklin Templeton, managing $1.5 trillion in client money, put the world's first US regulated money market fund on a public blockchain. Think about that. They chose Stellar, not ETH, not Solana, Stellar. USDC is on Stellar. PayPal's PYUSDC is on Stellar. OpenUSD on Stellar. MoneyGram, Wisdom Tree. The infrastructure is already deployed. The retail narrative just hasn't caught up yet. That is the opportunity. Make sense so far? Now, here's where it gets interesting. BTC goes to 200k, and it's my belief that it will in this cycle. XRP follows, then the money flows, right? It flows down the market cap ladder into layer ones with real transaction volume, into chains that are actually processing real world value. But here's what most XLM content completely misses. You're not just in a crypto bull run right now. We are in the early innings of the real world asset tokenization cycle. Bonds, real estate, commodities, government debt, cross-border remittances, trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars of assets moving onto blockchain rails. McKinsey puts that market at $16 trillion of tokenized assets by 2030. Other estimates go significantly higher. And Stellar, with its institutional relationships, its regulatory compliant architecture, and its sub-second near-zero cost settlement, is one of a very short list of networks positioned to capture a meaningful slice of that flow. I know some of you are thinking, Nathan, does that actually translate into XLM price going up, right? Up and to the right. That's what we want, up and to the right, yeah? Think about this. When trillions of dollars of transactions flow through a settlement layer, the demand for that layer's native asset, the asset that pays transaction fees, provides liquidity, bridges, currencies, goes up, especially when there's a limited supply. Plain and simple, stock to flow. That is not speculation. That is mechanics. That is how it works. Demand precedes max cap supply times Metcalfe law. Okay? If you're not 100%, you need to look into it. Check it out. Do your own research. Look into that more. It's pure basic business economics understanding. The cascade goes BTC up, XLM up, real RWA volume flows to chains built for it. XLM demand rises. XLM demand rises with the volume. That is the thesis. And the infrastructure to support it is already live. Quick one. If you're finding this useful, smash the like right now. It genuinely helps more people in the Stellar community find this content, and subscribe, because we're doing this from the inside, not from a price prediction chart. Make sense so far? Okay, now you guys, my loyal subscribers, know this already. Hang around, because I've got some goodies for you. The numbers are about to get real with real world assets. Here's the maths. All right. 3 scenarios. I want you to pick one that fits your portfolio and your timeline best. Okay? Scenario 1. Conservative. XLM hits $1. $1. That's not even a new all-time high territory. When you factor in inflation, that's XLM returning to where it's already been. And the fun hasn't even started yet. Okay. So, let's say you got 1,000 XLM at $1. So, $1,000, right? 10,000 XLM at $1. $10,000. 50,000 XLM at $1. $50,000. We're beginning to make sense now, right? And when we no longer make sense, we're making dollars, euros, pounds, yen for each one of those XLMs. At today's prices, approximately 19 cents, 10,000 XLM costs you around $1,900. That is an accessible bag. That is retail sized. And at $1, that is already a meaningful return on a modest investment. Scenario 2, my base case, XLM hits $5. $5. This is not my moon scenario. Understand, it's not my moon scenario. It's my base case. This is my realistic scenario. XLM at $5 would represent Stellar capturing a fraction of the transaction volume it's technically positioned to process across global RWA rails. That isn't the ceiling. It's the floor of what this network is built to support. 10,000 XLM at $5, 50K. 50,000 XLM at $5, $250,000. 100,000 XLM at $5, $500,000, $500,000. That number right there, 100,000 XLM, that is what I'd call the life-changing bag at $5. And today's price of approximately 19 cents, 100,000 XLM costs you 19k. It's a bit of a reach, but you could do it. And I want to show you how in the next video. But watch to the end. Write that down. Write that number down. That is the mission. Scenario 3. The Stellar Bull Case Event Horizon. XLM hits $10. $10. I know you're probably thinking, Nathan, that's extreme. But here's the thing. It would require institutional adoption at a scale that isn't guaranteed this cycle. Sure, but it isn't impossible. And remember, our time horizon, Stellar, is a 10 to 15 year infrastructure play. Think about it. $16 trillion of RWA tokenization behind it, and Stellar already chosen as the settlement layer by trillion-dollar asset managers. 10,000 XLM at $10, $100,000. 50,000 XLM at $10, $500,000. 100,000 XLM, $1 million. From a position that is accessible right now to a retail investor willing to build and hold with conviction. It's my belief that the difference between the retail investors who's changing their financial future in this cycle isn't which coin they pick. It's whether they had enough conviction to hold a meaningful position through the volatility. All right? Now, I want to give this community something specific. I've been building on this, on Stellar, for years. Liquidplex, Zig3. I've watched this community grow. And I want every single one of you watching this video to have a shared target. Something concrete, something you can work toward and come back and tell me you've hit that target. Life-changing. The Zioncoin Stellar community target is 10k XLM. That is the floor. That is the minimum stack I want every person in this channel community to build toward right now. Why that number? $1. The conservative case, 10,000 XLM is 10k, right? That's a meaningful emergency fund or investment return. At $5, my base case, 10,000 XLM, 50k. That is life-changing. It's a life-changing outcome for a retail investor who starts small. At $10, bull case, 10,000 XLM is $100,000, 6 figures from a position that cost a few £100 or dollars to start building right now. Right, 1,800 quid. Right? If you're already at 10,000, your next target is 50k. If you're already at 50k, you know I'm going with this. Drop your current XLM stack in the comments right now. Don't worry about the number. I want to know where this community is starting from. I read every single one of these comments, so let's talk about this. Let's do this. It's achievable. Trust me. One more thing, and this is the part that most XLM videos don't include, because most XLM content is made by people who aren't building on this network. The price targets I just gave you, $5, $10, those are not based on vibes. They're based on what is already deployed. Fundamentals, stock to flow. Franklin Templeton's tokenized money market fund on Stellar. Live. USDC on Stellar. Live. PayPal. PYUSD on Stellar. Live. DTCC. Who are they? Depository, Trust and Clearing Corporation. Partnership with Stellar in 2024. Approximately, now just listen, approximately 3.7 to 3.8 quadrillion, not trillion, quadrillion with a Q, not a T, a Q, in security transactions processed by DTCC subsidiaries. Those people, yes, are partnered with Stellar, bringing RWA tokenized stocks on Stellar. Guys, come on. Do your own research. If you don't believe me, do your own research. This isn't play games anymore. This is real. And you have an opportunity right now. In fact, please, let's talk about it in the comments, because the list goes on. On, down the road and around the block. Stellar's institutional banking partnerships active and expanding globally. And here's what's coming. Every government exploring CBDCs needs a settlement layer that is fast, cheap and regulatory compliant. Every bank exploring tokenized bonds needs the same. The list of networks that can actually do that at institutional scale with the compliant architecture already built in is very, very short. Stellar is on that list. It's my belief that in this cycle, 2026 and 2027, we're going to see the retail narrative finally catch up to institutional reality that has already been built on this network quietly, without the hype, without the influencer armies. And when retail discovers what institutions already have chosen, that is when the price starts to move. The window to build your stack at those prices is not infinite. And if you've been following me in my previous videos, I've told you this already. Okay. I don't know exactly when it closes, but I know where the math leads. Right. 3 scenarios, 1 community target, 10,000 XLM minimum. All right. That's where we're building. If you want to know how we're going to be achieving these price targets, you need to check out the next video, because I'll be explaining to you the tools and the methods I used in the past that maximized my portfolio and then compounded it over and over and over again. So check out this next video, the path to these price targets, and I'll see you over there.